Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, K Geek X Chic, and we are back with another reaction to The Last of Us. We are now on to episode 2, which is called Infected. So, the premiere last week, I think, was probably one of the top 5 best premieres I've seen for a show, probably ever, honestly. I think that they nailed it. They gave us a good idea of what this world is like. They built it up very well. They introduced us to all the characters, and even if you haven't played the game like I have, I feel like you still have a good idea of what's going on, how things happened, and a good idea of who our characters are in this show. So, like I said, I think everything was done well. The suspense building, the idea of dread, the idea of the threat we're dealing with, the way it was shot, the acting. I could go on, but honestly, very, very impressed with the premiere. And I'm just going into this episode thinking, what are we going to do next? Because that was a really great way to kick off. And you obviously want things to continue at least at that level or level up ideally. But we don't want to go too hard, too fast, because obviously we got a long way to go before the season finale. And I'm just really curious as to how they're planning to pace this show, because the first game, it's got quite a bit of material to go over, but I'm not sure if they're planning on covering the entire first game in this first season or if they plan on splitting it up. Who knows? But either way, I'm very excited and ready to jump at this episode. So I'm not going to talk too much more here. We're going to jump right in. But right before we do, if this is your first time in my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I do reactions to shows like this here. So if you are interested in watching me do that, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you can know when I do more uploads. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate it very much if you give this video a thumbs up as well. Show some love. It just helps other people in the algorithm to see that this is good stuff. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. And if you haven't joined the fam already, please do so today. We are still going to hit 10K this year. I know it. Please be there with me. All right, that out of the way, guys. Let's get into episode 2 right about now. Clearly a flashback. They mentioned Jakarta in the preview or premiere. This is kind of cool because the game really stays quite local to the US. That's about as much as I'll say. For those of you who didn't catch my premiere reaction, I said in that I don't plan on spoiling anything from the game. I might make some comparisons to what happened, but I'm not gonna give anything away if I can, because I know that some people might still plan on playing the game. So, but this is cool. Just to let you know. I hope it's not too much of a spoiler, but yeah, the game does not go global.
Apakah saya ada berbuat suatu kesalahan? Tidak, tentu saja tidak.
She's so kind.
Universitas Indonesia, kita memiliki orang yang tepat.
Okay, we need your knowledge apparently. Or being smart is a curse.
Ibu mungkin
Pendapat berat yang saya butuhkan.
I feel like context would help though. But I guess they don't want her to look at it with panic in her brain first. I don't know.
Kami gunakan sebagai persiapan pengambilan sampel dari tubuh manusia, Bu Ratna.
And she's like, I says pardon. I wonder if we're going to see if the US was already starting to see this.
Sebaiknya aku segera keluar.
Thanks. You could have told me that before I got in. Oh, wow. That is a naked body. And it is cold in that room, clearly. I really do give a shout out to the people who work as coroners, because that is not easy work. I could not. No blood. It's not going to be pretty in there either. So gross. So gross. She's seen enough. Pack your bags. Fly the most remote island possible and never leave.
Perempuan itu mencoba menyerang dan terpaksa harus ditembak.
What happened to the 3 she bit?
Lalu bagaimana dengan orang
Thank you. Valid questions.
Dibawa untuk diobservasi.
Did you tie them up?
Siapa yang menggigit perempuan
Exactly.
itu, Pak?
Let's do some root cause analysis here.
14 orang hilang.
Oh God.
Kami membawa Ibu Ratna kemari untuk membantu kami untuk mencegah penyebaran.
That's a heavy weight.
Saya telah menghabiskan waktu hidup saya untuk mempelajari hal ini.
You don't look very positive.
Tidak ada obat.
Damn it.
Dan tidak ada vaksin.
Great.
Jadi apa yang harus kami lakukan?
Go to a private island. Y'all not listening to me.
Bom. Mulailah penghukuman
That's a very vicious leap.
dan seluruh orang yang ada di dalamnya.
Sis, can we talk about this? Can we talk about this? Like, that's very extreme.
Maaf, Pak.
You're
Apa
excused.
ada yang bisa antar saya pulang?
No. Okay.
Bukan suami dan anak-anak saya.
Well, I mean, I guess she wasn't saying get me out of here. I'll give her that. What is it with the opening scenes of the show being absolutely traumatic? Because it's so realistic, right? That is the way that they would handle a pandemic, or what they believed to be one initially. And then there comes the moral question of should they have published that information? Because remember, all we heard was a news report on the radio last episode, but they didn't have any details. They were just saying that there was issues in Jakarta, but they didn't say what it was. So it's like, no, I think you need to tell people. Can we give another shout out to the cinematography? Just waiting on her to turn.
She locked me up and had her guys test me every day to see if I was getting sick.
Test you how?
I have to pee.
Test you how?
Answer the question.
Fine. Back there, you can find a spot.
Papa squat.
Tear out a few pages.
Oh God, that would be so painful. Just air dry at that point.
Maybe a hairline. It'll heal fast.
But what about the inner you, Joe? Is that gonna heal fast?
You need to stop talking about this kid like she's got some kind of life in front of her.
Damn. Ooh, that came from a deep place. They're such a trusting group.
You take me back, you don't get your battery.
You heard that? Then you must have heard that he wants to shoot you.
She kind of figured when he slammed her into a wall last episode.
We've heard this a million times. Vaccines, miracle cures. None of it works. Ever.
You, man, I didn't ask for this.
You and me both. This isn't gonna end well, Tess. We need to go back.
And explain the guy you beat to death, Joel? Think it through.
If she so much as twitches.
She's a teenager. What do you expect? I mean, I get the weariness, right? Just because she's not turned yet doesn't mean she won't. And I guess there's probably been cases where people have held out longer than others, but it's kind of funny because it's been days. One thing I loved about this game is the fact that it very much stayed faithful to the idea that if the world collapsed, we would be covered in nature. And this is not like a spoiler. This is just the game developers talked about how they really wanted it to look the way it really would look, and that the nature would really take over buildings and everything and be very green again. And even though obviously things are terrible in this world, I kind of like the idea that like nature and animals are kind of back to the way they were.
So,
Long way or short way?
I mean, it's the long way or the we're fucking dead way.
well, I vote long way, just based on that limited information.
She picks up quickly. I wonder how much of this was practical versus CG. It's looking really good so far.
Wow. Well, I mean, you got some balls on you, sister.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think.
Everyone said the open city was crazy. Like swarms of infected running around everywhere.
I'm sure it's got its moments. That was actually kind of awesome. The frog's like, you ruined my opus. I've been working on this for months.
Wait, are we going in there?
Afraid so.
Yeah, we gotta get to the stairwell on the other
Ugh, I hate wet clothes. Wet socks, wet feet.
Yes, ma'am. Right away, ma'am.
You're a weird kid.
Is she? She's pretty She's actually pretty straightforward. Kids play, Joel. I know it's been a while. Now you have to walk around with soggy underwear.
Come on, it wasn't that bad.
You try climbing 10 fucking floors with our knees. See how you feel.
Yeah, let's not forget these guys are in their 40s and 50s. You mock now, but you're all aging, and you'll see one day. You'll see.
No, well, I'm the smallest, so it'd be easier for me to get through.
But you die and you get nothing. You stay.
Yeah.
You can be him.
I mean, we want to protect you because you're a little person and we want you to live a long life. This is the other reason I wouldn't survive an apocalypse, because honestly, the climbing, I'm not about that life.
How long do infected live?
Oh, I thought you went to school.
It's really...
But there's others been walking around about 20 years.
You ever kill one?
Yeah, I killed lots of them.
Numerous.
Was it hard? Like knowing they were people once?
Not when they're trying to eat your face with mushrooms coming out of their mouths. Not at all.
Put the gun down, Joe.
The way she already knew he was ready to shoot. You know it's love when. Wow, that patio furniture is actually held up remarkably well. Need to know the brand. That is a really cool shot.
You're not immune from being ripped apart.
This is true.
You understand? It's important. I'm trying to keep you alive.
Oh, Tess is starting to mother her.
Museum.
Now you get to see history in action, not just books. By the way, they're doing really good with these sets. I gotta say, it is feeling very realistic and not at all like it was shot in Calgary.
Marlene packing one of these or just sandwiches?
Yeah.
I feel like the sandwiches are more important.
I have a spare hand.
Congratulations.
They're meant to be. And what I love is that, you know, we saw that with Joel and Sarah. They were very much the smart banter back and forth. Joel doesn't even realize he's slipping right back into that with her. Oh, my anxiety is rising. Okay, time to clench.
I guess we should have gone this way in the first place.
Oh shit.
That's fresh.
I don't hear it. Who would you hear? Who would you hear?
Yeah, it's like she's whispering. Take a cue.
You're silent. Not quiet. Silent.
Actually,
No question.
quiet makes me more nervous. A little chatter would be nice. Why am I whispering? Also, Joel and Tess should be so thankful that Ellie is so like resilient, because a lot of people seeing their first dead body like that, I mean, I'm sure she's seen others, but you know what I'm saying, like a lot of kids would have started to go into panic attack mode at this point. Oh, I don't want to take these stairs. If there's ever a time you wish for levitation. I was about to close. Okay, well, I guess we're not going back that way. Just as well, though, because those stairs were awful. Mm-mm. No. Y'all, I think we're getting our first clicker. I'm excited, but I'm also terrified. I want to see, but I don't. I'm so glad I'm watching this in the daytime. All the way they're not like fully showing them. This is even worse. Don't you dare sneeze or fart. Need that in-game accuracy. Player level easy. Story mode. How many shots you got left? Kudos to you for having the flashlight and reloading at the same time. That's skill. Sorry, I just realized my whole body was tense. I don't like it. Like, I'm scared to talk. I'm not even there. Ellie's like, don't come over here. Well, goes around, comes around, I draw. Oh, close, too close, too close, too close. Why are you not shooting in the head, Joel? I am so over you right now. Shoot it in its ugly mushroom face. Thank you. Can we get it? Don't waste your bullets. There's 2 of them, isn't there? Yes. Well, was going to say something, but I realized that, again, 2003, technology stopped. But you'd think by now they would have created, like, sound bombs of some kind to, like, deal with these guys.
You alright?
No,
I didn't
traumatized.
shit my pants.
Facts.
Hey, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, let's not find out if there's more.
Yeah, no, looks scary.
That was scary. This is wood.
Right? I feel like after that, heights are not really a thing anymore.
The first fight didn't take. But what about the second?
Why don't you just take the good news?
Right?
Like to think for once maybe we can actually win. Just go and watch her.
You're getting on our damn nerves, Joel. Respectfully. I get it, though. There's only so much pessimism you can take, even if you are a realistic person. In this world, you need a little hope. Literally, because what? Otherwise, why do you wake up in the morning?
Is it everything you hoped for?
But man, you can't deny that view.
Sometimes you just need someone young to remind you of the little things. That is also why I'm a strong believer that people should have a diverse group of friends in age too, because the older you get, cynicism's kind of natural, but young people remind you that it's the simple things, like the beauty of a view despite the ruin, that, you know, you should still take pleasure in those things, because there's always something beautiful to appreciate. Joel's just like, I'm waiting for her to twitch one time. Again, well done. This looks so real. Oh, fresh blood on the seat. Someone got away, guys.
Holy shit.
Oh, I hope these weren't the people you had to meet.
One of them got bit. The healthy ones fought the sick ones. Everyone lost. Tess?
Ellie!
I don't know, just west.
She is ticked. Wow.
It's over. We are going home.
It's not my fucking home!
Okay. The adults are fighting. This might be the time for you to just take a little walk, Ellie.
Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
Fuck. She's infected.
She got it. Kids pick up more than you think. Why would she lie about that, Joel? That was cold, Joe. I get it, but that was cold. Oh.
This is real. Josh is fucking real.
I felt not to, but you shut the fuck up because I don't have time. This is your chance. You get her there.
Yep.
Please say yes, Joel. Please.
It's a fuck! You do not. You can't deny a dying woman's wish, Joel. I guess y'all have to go right now. This is 1,000 times scarier than anything The Walking Dead has ever done.
How many?
All of them. Maybe a minute.
You gotta go.
What are you doing?
Making sure that they don't follow you.
Yeah. Someone's gotta do it. Maybe you should save a few. I think those would be great to keep. A few. Quickly. Take them.
Say who you can say.
Damn, that hurts. That is such a real line, though. And in this world, it's exactly what you have to do.
You're not leaving her! Get off me, you fucker! Not going with
Sweetie, she's not gonna make it anyway. And honestly, I don't think Joel wanted to have to be the one to do it. You are a badass queen, Tess. Interesting, a little badass for you. I've always wondered if they can sense when somebody's already bitten. Oh, no, don't want that kiss. Tess, why would you? I would rather die. She just didn't want to make a commotion so more would come. I had to close my mouth, though. real one. I figure if you gotta go out, that's the way to go out if you're already gonna turn. I know. She was just starting to be nice to you. No one liked that museum anyway. Damn. That's how it's going to be with every episode, huh? Just being thoroughly emotionally exhausted. Just racked with anxiety by the end. But that means that they did another good job. That was great. Another great episode. I have to keep giving the shout outs to the effects team because, as I said, I know that this whole series was shot in and around Alberta. And I can tell you that Alberta's landscape does not look anything like that. It's out west here, it is a newer part of Canada, so there's not a lot of old buildings, not a lot of rustic looking things compared to what you would see out in Boston, for example. And it's also a very dry place, so there's not a lot of vegetation and greenery, so they had to do a lot of work between the practical and, of course, there's a lot of CGI. But like I said, I really could not see a lot of times where I was like, oh yeah, that's CGI, or that's like, they did a good job of making things look pretty damn seamless. And I know a lot of us were looking forward to seeing the clickers. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the game, that was the people with the mushroom faces. Basically, the game calls them clickers because they make that clicking sound because they can't see. They're probably going to get into more detail about them in the show, so I'm not going to get any further than that, but I don't think that's too much of a spoiler. It's just a type of one of the types of infected you can come across. So a lot of us were looking forward to seeing how it looks because in the game it is really scary. I'm telling you, when I was playing, it would be like the first time I encountered them, I was just literally just about to crap my pants. So I think they did a good job of making them look very much like the game, but also realistically what it might look like if a human face was basically turned into a giant fungus. Gross, kind of interesting, but mostly gross. And yeah, I think they did a really good job with that. Everything in this scene, I think, was really, really well done. The interaction between the three was really a huge part of this episode because overall we didn't get a lot of action until the end. Well, actually, I guess you could say between the museum and the end. So there was really about more character building and us watching this relationship between Tess, Joel, and Ellie. And I love how in the beginning they were so suspicious of her, like they were so sure she was going to turn and there was something wrong here. But how Tess was the first one to be like, oh my gosh, like this could be real. And 20 years into this apocalypse, of course, people are going to be very cynical. They're going to be like, there is no cure. We saw in the beginning of the episode the scientist who'd been studying mushrooms her whole life who was like, there's no cure, there's no vaccine, there's no way to fix this. So to see this, there's that disbelief. But as humans, the reason why we survive year after year, decade after decade, century after century, when we've seen some horrible things go down, is because we hold on to hope. Hope is very powerful for us. And even though it looks like people like Tess and Joel would be kind of stuck in that mire of cynicism, especially considering that they're smugglers and doing what they need to do to get by. And for the record, they kind of tamed out Joel and Tess so far in this show compared to the game. But even despite all that, we see that Tess actually, like, she needed to hold on to it. Like, she kind of wanted to believe that this was true. And then getting that last verification, she was like, oh my gosh, it is possible. Even though, unfortunately, she realized she wasn't going to live long enough to see it. But it's just interesting to see that difference than Joel, who's resistant, who's just refusing, who's just holding on to that cynicism. And as an audience, we know why he's doing that, right? Because this little girl is seemingly close to the age that Sarah was, and he's already been through what it's like to care for someone like that, like a child, like a daughter, and lose them. And he just doesn't want to allow himself emotionally to even begin to care about that, right? Like he's got this cynicism, he's got this wall around his heart, which is most likely the only thing that allowed him to keep going after that devastating loss in episode 1, and obviously watching the world rapidly fall downhill, crash downhill. Tess was kind of there, just, we saw when she was fixing her ankle and he was like, oh, she's not the cure, blah, blah. And she's just like, dude, can you just give us the win? Like, can you just be happy that we got out of that situation? Like, don't bring your cynicism to me right now. like let me have this moment. And Joel just kind of side-eyeing her, but it was a real kind of wake-up call for Joel. And again, right after that, the scene that I commented on in the reaction where they're looking out and he's saying, is it everything you hoped you'd be? Is it everything that you hoped it would be? And I'm sure he was expecting her to be like, because you look around, right? Everything's ruined. There's vegetation everywhere. There's nothingness. And I'm sure, he thought she was going to say something like, it's awful, or I want to go back. And she's like, well, I'm not sure yet, but you can't deny this view. Like, she's seeing the positive. And as I said in the episode, that's one of the beautiful things about youth, especially kids tend to look at the simplicity of life. So that the moment with Tess, and then of course we come to that culmination point at the end where, yeah, unfortunately she really is more invested than not in getting Ellie to this end location, to finishing this whole mission, because she, like I said, she knew she wasn't going to live long enough to see the results of that vaccine. But knowing that if Ellie actually is the real deal, which she believes in the end, and she gets to the people who can make a vaccine, then no one after her has to suffer this way. Like possibly it's an end to this horrible nightmare that they're all going through. So, you know, it's just kind of a beautiful kind of arc for Tess. I mean, it's a short one, but I think she really let us know what kind of a lady she was, and the fact that, like I mentioned in the reaction, that she started to mother Ellie without even thinking about it, that she started to be like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Like at first it was like your cargo, and then it was like, okay, you gotta be quiet, you gotta do this. You know, the natural mothering effect that started to kick in. And then, like I said, her caring at the end, and her letting Joel know at the end, like, you know, we're not good people, we've done a lot of bad things, like this is something we could do that would make it all worth it, all the things we've done. And that really reminded me of Walking Dead, and I'm going to reference Walking Dead a lot, I think, because it's very similar in obviously the premise of these two stories. But in The Walking Dead, they talk about a lot the moral decisions that you have to make in a different world, right? Like who you are, you know, 5, 10, 15 years into apocalypse versus who you were when you started. And a lot of times you don't recognize who that person is anymore. And the person you are in the old world would probably judge the hell out of the person you become in the future. But you got to do what you got to do to survive. But it doesn't mean it makes you feel good. And clearly Tess was letting Joel know that she's aware of the fact that they're not nice and they haven't done good things. But maybe there's an end. Maybe this doesn't have to be Ellie's path or kids who come after Ellie's path. This is why he should do something for once that's not just for himself and not just for his own payoff. Because remember, they started this whole mission with the idea that it was just to get the guns and to get the battery, but now it's bigger than that. So yeah, again, just a great episode. I really, really enjoyed how they, again, visually built out this world. As a game player, I definitely saw some references. I'm not gonna try to spoil anything for anyone, but there was some great references in this, and I think they handled it well. And I think what's really a testament to not only the people who did this show, but also Naughty Dog when they did the scenes for this show, is how they were able to seamlessly transition some of these things over without it feeling cheesy or like I'm playing a game, if that makes sense. They made it grounded, if that makes sense, and it's grounded enough that, like I said, they're able to translate that to screen and it doesn't feel wrong or cringy. So yeah, very impressed. Still loving this show. Really, really enjoyed this episode. What did you guys think? Those of you who are gamers, do you feel like it was, you know, things that were done justice? Again, try not to spoil too much in the comments for those who may not know the game, but let me know your thoughts below because I'm really enjoying this so far. So that's pretty much it for this reaction, guys. If you liked it, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up, and otherwise we will see you in the next video.